there, and welcome to the first episode of the NOLIMIT Podcast, where we focus on the evolution of fashion, culture, and everything in between. Now, today we're going to be diving into the work shift, which is our latest campaign celebrating the evolution of traditional formal wear into more smart casual. So, to talk about this, we have with us two people who have made their mark in the fashion industry. I'm joined by Kosh and Raffealla Fernando. Hi. Hi, guys.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Good, doing fantastic.
Fantastic. So now our focus today for this podcast is sort of the evolution of traditional formal wear into more smart casual, right? I think we're going to start this conversation by just talking about work in general, because at the end of the day, we wear formal wear or smart casual, as it's transitioned now at work.
Yeah.
So I'd like to know, what is work like for you guys? I know both of you work in the fashion and entertainment industry. Have you had a 9-to-5 job at any point?
You go first.
Yeah, I've had.
Yeah.
But I was never the formal wear wearing person.
Mm-hmm.
So I have this crazy experience of wearing like my kind of clothes.
Okay.
For that sort of a setting, like a disciplinary email saying wear like formal.
That's crazy.
And then I did my little fusion with what I call formal in my sense.
Yeah.
Because even now, it's been 16 years now, I still don't wear formal.
Yeah.
I have my own, mix
Yeah.
and match when it comes to formal, but I've definitely been in that setting, the setup of 9 to 5.
So I think like a couple of years ago, the 9-to-5 setting was very in terms of what you were wearing, in terms of that's part of the discipline of the work space, right? So I think it was very tough, I think, a few years ago. But do you feel like that's changed over the years?
It has changed a lot. I think if you talk about like post-COVID, pre-COVID, it was like very much like if it's 9 to 5, or like it's like you have a set of like rules and like what to wear and what not to wear. Like it was there, like in office spaces you have to wear a shirt, the tie, and like for boys and girls it's like majority is a pencil skirt or like that formal tailored pants. So it changed, I think, after like COVID. Like things took a small like change, because like technically a funny thing, like when we did Zoom meetings, like we only like tend to like dress the top half, like bottom it's pajamas, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we did. Like for your first question also, like I have done like 9-to-5 jobs, like my very first job working in the same company that I'm working now, like I was an employee, and then so like we had to but lucky for us, like we didn't have that set of rules. So but still it has to be chic and elegant, because I work in fashion, right? So like whatever we do, we have to represent the company. So I think that's like that change came, the change came from, I think, COVID. People got like super comfortable, and like that whole casual Friday thing became everyday casual.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't imagine you wearing
Oh
just
me too. Oh my
the tailored
God.
pant and the shirt tucked in.
Like
But he
even
looks
in-
great. He looks great. I've
Oh,
seen
yeah?
him.
Yeah, even in university when we had presentations, when we were supposed to wear, I was like, ugh. Like, I hated it. Like
Yeah.
I don't look that good in like maybe oversized shirt with a loose tie, yeah, but not.
But
like,
even that was like a big no a few years
Oh
ago.
yeah, it
It
is.
was.
I mean, it's still in certain areas in the country, it's still a no. Like if you take like government offices, like it's still a no, but it's shifting slowly.
So like you said, right, I think what you wear to office is a direct representation of the work of the brand as well, or the company as well. So I think that discipline still has to be maintained. But I think over time it's changed a little bit. We've gotten a little bit more loose with what we expect our employees to wear. When we sort of go back in time a little bit, Rafi, I want to know, as someone who's in the fashion industry, how do you see just like formal wear, like the traditional formal wear in general? There are a set of rules we follow, right?
Definitely. So, Sasha, like the formal wear started with the women in the 17th century.
Oh.
Women started wearing more formal than the men. So, in the 19th century, men started wearing formals. So, this came from the royal family.
Okay.
To kind of like show the status, show the personality,
More like the rich
show the power.
people, yeah.
So it was the case like the reverse roles happened also when the heels became more womanly and, but the men used to wear heels before.
Yeah.
So there was a,
For that height.
definitely.
Yeah, to show the
So that was the start of formals. That was the history of formals to, kind of show your power, show
status.
your status, your caste, you're rich. So that came from there. And gradually it came into the official placements to show how important it is. We are like the important people, so we wear formals. The collars came from the queen. We have seen so many collars which gradually evolved into men's fashion. So it came from women's fashion to show power, to show status. So up to now, that's what we do with the jackets, the blazers, the well-tailored clothes. So it's still a thing. It has to. I think it's definitely going to be there. It's not something which will go out of fashion.
It will
also.
never die because
It'll never die.
It will evolve, but that particular part where like that formality, like that look and that feel will be there, but it will evolve slowly.
Yeah.
With new tips and tricks and things.
Definitely.
Yeah,
It evolved with time because even, after these centuries and like up to now, even a couple of years back, if we look at the formal scene, there are very different things. Now the oversized collars are a thing, but it's with the blazers, and then the blazers got so many different sort of variations. Suiting up is quite a trend now,
Yeah.
it's
Also,
quite
the
a
pop
style
culture is a
statement.
huge thing. Like when you talk about anything to do with fashion, like the pop culture or like a particular set of celebrities, like what they do, technically what the brands do with them, it becomes a trend, and it keeps going. So
Yeah,
I
it trickles down into society.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I know how amazing I feel when I wear like a structured, collared
Definitely.
outfit,
Yeah.
and
It's very
has-
psychological, like
Absolutely.
even back in the days, like, from having bigger collars, structured clothing, whalebones to, all this structure to even now, wearing a suit always gives you that power that, you
Yeah.
are kind of like in
Whalebones.
control of certain things. And that's the kind of psychology behind formal wear. It's nothing else. When it comes to fashion, it's very psychological. Even the color palette is very psychological. The structure is very psychological. And then gradually it evolves from time to time. But this comes from like a very European setup. Even up to now, even though it does not really sit in with the weather conditions and the climate, we still follow it because it really gives that sense of, you have control over certain things, and you're the boss of certain things. And that's very important because when you work physically, it has to be mentally, physically, and holistically.
And also-
What you wear is very holistic.
And also like the whole, like the outerwear, like what you wear is like, again, it's the first impression, right? So like, if you're going for a meeting or like anything that you do, like what you wear, it makes a big impression of like signing up a deal or something. It is like a thing, like that's why like I think this formal wear is very important, because the concept of formal wear comes with work and like being on camera or something like that. So I think that evolution is very important, like because even though it's like that whole casual thing, because we don't call it like casual, right? Like
Yeah.
and then we call it like smart casual or
We
like
say semi-formal.
semi-formal. Like it's something to do with still the formal thing. It will never die. Like I said, it's only evolving.
Yeah, I think we all saw the biggest evolution of that during COVID, like you said, where we were
God,
basically
yes.
just like dressing just for the top half,
half.
for the Zoom calls, and then the rest of it was just like shorts and pajamas.
Even
Yeah.
weddings and everything happen on Zoom, right?
Yeah,
like
the virtual
for my
weddings.
cousin's wedding, like
I
it
thought
happened
for
in
weddings,
Canada.
I thought you said for weddings they were wearing like shorts.
I was like literally like I was in my PJs, like and then like a blazer and like I don't wear shirts on the blazer, so I just put the blazer
Yeah.
on, and I just like in front of the camera, I was like,
I'm attending a wedding
Yeah,
on
wedding.
Zoom.
Sweet.
new normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we did see how, like, it became more accepted to be more smart casual
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
just like fully formal, because at the end of the day you were working from home. The hours shifted from 9 to 5 to like almost 24/7, because now
True.
you're at home, you have to be accessible. So I think work culture in itself changed, and with that fashion changed.
Definitely.
Do you feel like now, because of COVID, we've transitioned into a more relaxed formal wear?
Definitely.
In certain offices or certain workforces, like, now if you take more private sector, I think it's to do like casual, like, that whole trendy and, like how to look good, that's like a thing. But majority, like if you talk about like government, certain like very strict government, like I think it's still like
But
You
to
dress
start with, the
official.
tie went off. I think
Yes.
to start
even
in a
the
government
evolution of the
sector,
tie, like from that thick big tie, which I love.
you know,
You're
the very
right.
first tie was a white tie, which was worn worn
Yeah.
by women first, then gradually went into the dandies, and then to the royalty,
Yeah.
and then to it evolved that way.
Yeah.
So the white tie was the first proper formal tie in the history, not the black tie.
Right.
But then the tie went off from the government sector is like a huge deal.
Thank you.
So, because I feel because they don't work in air conditioned
Environments,
offices,
yeah.
so they work like with a fan or like maybe no fan also. So with the with the humid
Weather and
weather
then the heat,
conditions,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
the tie going off is like it's really good for them. Because you can focus more because you get choked here when you wear a tie. So getting rid of that, I mean, at the same time there are like perks and cons of a tie. It looks good, it makes you feel good, at the same time it gives you a great balance to your upper body. But the work environment, not having the tie, it makes your life easier and more
Yeah.
breathable, I would say.
Yeah, I think even women have opted for more professional looking, but still materials that feel softer on the skin,
Definitely.
that aren't as restricting.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, you have to get work done,
Yes.
True.
right? And if you're uncomfortable, that's going to restrict you. So how do you see women's attire, professional attire, changing from like fully formal, traditional to a little bit more relaxed?
I think, like you said, very rightly said, the fabrication did play a huge role, from having this very, like tailored sort of fabric to, like soft linens, like, or different sort of cottons, and, also going to like this, wash corduroys and all that. So having that structure still light on the bodies, so that really helps also because there are different shapes and sizes. Now you have a great structure, so what you wear is not going to look good on me because I'm a bigger structure than you. So what I wear will not look good on you, because this is very important with formal clothes, because sometimes there was a time, like whether you're thin or fat or
Yeah, regardless of
whatever
the
it
body
is,
shape, you
Yeah.
just have to wear one uniform
definitely.
type.
Even for the guys, I've seen like the pants, like the waistline has to change according, the crotch has to change accordingly. But you have a like a structured pant, you wear that, and you wear like a shirt very uncomfortably, and then you have a tie. The same way it happens to females as well, because formal wear is structured.
Yes, yeah.
And we definitely need to give so much attention to the type of bodies for comfort, because it's not going to be very comfortable.
Yeah.
But right now, the new evolving part of formal wear is that you are very comfortable. Now I wear structured, I wear blazers, I wear like big pants, I wear wide leg pants, but I wear graphic t-shirts underneath. I don't wear a shirt,
Yeah.
because that makes my life easier. And also I'm very comfortable.
Yeah.
When I'm cold, I wear it. When I'm not, I remove the jacket. At the same time, it gives that structure. It is very official, but in a very cool, quirky way. And every single person has their own, like some wear with crop tops,
Yeah.
some
The
have
bodysuits.
yeah, like bodysuits definitely is a thing with the blazers. So different sort of structures with the formal wear.
I think, like, to be honest, like the whole formal wear, like, I actually think pop culture made a big difference. Even TV series that we watch, like from Suits to like the Kardashians, like all those things bring like a new trend. Like, it's crazy, but it is the reality. Like, like if you watch the TV show Suits, like, when you see like what those lawyers wear at their like to the office, it is super cool, and you can inspire, and like you want to wear like that. Like, it's just even if you wear like a blazer, like a full tailored suit, like how would you use a pocket square, like a tie pin, like the smallest things can change. Like in Sri Lanka, like we only wear like lapel pin or tie pin or like cufflinks for a wedding or a red carpet event, but in mostly like in other countries, like Western countries, they wear it for like work, and like just because it's like it's a
True.
status, like again, like how back in the day, like in the history, like where people use certain accessories to show their status. Like same way, like, a simple example. When I go to my office, like, I always try to look way better than my employees. That's like my thing. Like I want to
Yeah.
look chic. I
Definitely.
want to look fashionable. I want to look like an Avinto in like my office space.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I barely go to office, by the way. But like if I go, like, that's what I want to look, because it's about the status. And when I do that, like it becomes a thing where like people who works with me or work under me, like they want to look like me.
Definitely. Like I said, it's very psychological. Like what you wear is like you. It reflects your personality, and you feel that way too. And like when you're doing a presentation, you're not going to wear like something like, okay, whatever, I'll just wear this and go. You always try to,
Look the part.
look the part.
It
And
comes from universities as well. Like I think like when we're in uni, like if we were like for presentations, for assignments, like they make us wear like clothes that look good. So we get that training from university like
As well.
background as well.
but now I think the best part is you strike a balance with that and what you really are.
Yeah, like a more hybrid
There's a
version.
sense of
it.
self-expression which is really coming out, and it's really it's very interesting also. And I usually do that all the time. So because of that, I really like if I have to pair a blazer with a graphic tee or something which really like reflects my personality. I find it super cool. At the same time, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
So
now you mentioned how you might sometimes wear like graphic tees underneath a blazer, to maintain that individuality, but also, maintain a little bit of formal, composure. So in terms of fashion, what else have you guys noticed about how we've sort of fused between traditional formal wear and more casual? Anything else? Any trends you've seen?
I mean, I think, like you said, layering is a big thing. Like you layer your stuff, even in Europe, certain countries in Southeast Asia and South Asia, like we layer things. Even though, like, despite the weather, like we layer things to look cool, look chic. And another thing is accessorize. They play a big thing in the even informal thing, like watches. To be honest, even the perfume you wear, it's becoming a like a you have a formal, like what you wear for the
Perfume.
office, like what you wear for like night out. So things being added up. It's like but like I think Rafi can go further on like this because she works with a lot of formal people as well.
Formal people?
Yeah. So like I think layering, accessorizing, it's like a big thing.
Rafi?
yeah. And I think like the usage of denim, jeans, and like the wide leg pants and
Mom jeans.
and then you tuck the shirt with like your baggy pants, and then
high-waisted, yeah.
high-waisted jeans, and it's quite a statement.
Yeah.
But it's not really taking away the professional outlook of yours as well.
Yeah, so like the it's again a fine line, right? Like you can wear jeans, but you don't wear ripped jeans. To the
Yeah.
You don't wear
workplace.
ripped jeans, you don't
Yeah.
wear patch acid wash jeans, or like a sand
It's
wash
like a
could do,
one-tone
but not
colour,
like
yeah.
like a one color, sort of like a very toned down, like a very neutralized sort of look. It works.
Yeah.
And even like instead of wearing like the t-shirts now, a lot of polos come into the scene too.
Yeah, like that
And
old money look is so
definitely.
in.
It's so in, and like imagine a polo tucked in with like like a cool pair of pants and shades and all the accessorization, like how
Bags.
he was like bags.
I love bags.
It's a it's a really cool look,
Yeah.
and that's quite in, and it's formal. But you definitely sometimes you can spice it up with like a casual blazer. Casual blazers are with like linens now.
Yeah.
And very softer fabrics. It's
Linen
very
blazers,
breathable.
Yeah.
So, and double collar situations happen, and then a lot of corduroy, then a lot of jeans, chinos happens with the official attire.
I think chinos did a big change in
Oh,
like when it come to like men formal wear, like it
Yeah.
did a
It took
big like a revolution, I
Hey,
think.
it was a 360 turn for sure.
Yeah, because from the tailored, like that whole like pinstripe, like the proper formal pants, like it went to chinos,
Yeah.
and it became like, and they look better, so it's
It's quite
kinda, like,
cool.
it's quite cool.
And there's more like color variations as
Yeah.
well. To
Yeah.
play with, like, if you like a warm color palette for you, or like a cold color palette, or like a very neutral color palette, you get to work with all this too, because there are more options in this particular outfit.
With chinos, I think what I noticed was chinos came in to help sort of formal wear dress a little bit more casual, but also
Yes.
casual wear to look a little bit more
More
elevated.
formal.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like it worked
It's
both
like an
ways.
in-between situation, and also with that, like, now retro sneakers are in trend.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
chinos with the retro sneakers are quite a thing now. And, it's like a worldwide thing. People love this combination, from celebs to, work, work premises, work, environment, to, journalists, to media. It's quite a famous thing which, goes from each and every avenue, which is very interesting.
Yeah. Do you feel like maybe like Gen Z and younger millennials had a hand in it with them coming into the workforce?
Definitely.
Jeff, I think more like, I think it's millennials, like, we started like trying things out, and then
Are you trying to say you did that?
but like I think you all will agree with me with this, like TikTok or like Instagram, that became like I think TikTok became like a like a fashion like a thing, like where people, like this old money, all these trends went globally because of like
Yeah.
certain videos and certain all those
But I also
trends.
feel it's about self-awareness, because the Gen Z is very much aware of, like, their sexual orientation or their preferences to everything. They know what I need.
Yeah.
So like there aren't boundaries. So with that, they know how to express through fashion, because what you wear is the reflection of your own self. So
fearless.
they are very fearless. So I genuinely love that about that fire. I really like, because there was definitely like a 360 turn with that, which is very like there's no boundaries.
Absolutely.
There's no sort of like there's
You
no
can't put me in a
cage.
box kind
Yeah,
of an attitude.
true.
So the fashion definitely looks more untamed right now, so which is very cool. And you look at someone,
But they know what
like,
they're doing. That's the best part of it. They know, like
Yeah, it's not mismatched.
it's
It's
not
not.
Yeah.
mismatched. No, it's actually like, if you even take Sri Lanka right now, like when we go out, like to a mall or somewhere, like you see like they're well dressed.
Yes.
That's because back in the day when I was in school, and like when we went like out, like like people were just in like basic t-shirts, like
oh yeah,
jeans that doesn't match, and with like flip-flops, aka rubber slippers. Like, but now, like everyone is dressed well. I think
Yeah.
Gen Z and the late millennials, like they did a good job.
Yeah,
They
I think I
definitely
see
did
that transition most, like that transformation most in men, because I feel like girls dressed
Very.
well in general with
Yes.
most generations, but the boys have really stepped up. I feel
Definitely.
now.
The
I
fashion
think
game
it-
is on point, I would say, because like men are usually more well dressed than women these days.
Yeah,
like you go
absolutely, I agree.
somewhere,
That's true. I think also like
they stop complaining like we have only these options, we don't have things to wear.
Yes.
So that has stopped, that nagging has stopped, which is amazing.
that's
you know?
like I have nothing
Because
to do
as
with a million
stylists,
clothes in my closet.
we
Yeah.
do style, like I style corporates too, and I style like celebs, and like both of us, we do this, like that's our bread and butter. But when we do that, usually they're like, we don't have stuff to wear, Raffealla, we have this, we don't have much. But now when you work with like the new ones, they're like, we have tons of t-shirt options, we have tons of pant
Yeah.
options. They're so fearless, and I love
And they're
that.
willing to try more new things.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. That spunk is like what we were lacking for some time.
I think actually the whole Gen Z thing, like the transformation, I think it started with like K-pop also, where it became a like. Yeah, I know, I love
Tell
K-pop
me
and
more.
K-pop. So like, I think it started from there, like where like big bands, like boy bands or like girl bands, like when they started to dress in a certain way, like people started to follow because they have billions of followers, right? And that started like there are hairstyles that became like those like very very much to look like Southeast Asians or East Asians. Like I think that's a big change within Asia.
That's the secret of Kosh's new
Actually, yes.
short.
Right, hair.
Yeah,
super chic
yeah, with
hair.
long hair.
Right, right, right.
It's something else. But
I
it's
like
okay.
this. I like this one.
Suits him.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Look
Now,
younger.
he's blushing. Now, which brings me to color, actually. Now, when it comes to sort of the more fusion, formal, smart casual wear that we have now, one thing I've noticed is our basics are now sort of more neutrals. We know how to mix and match our neutrals, and we actually like our neutrals as well. Even if it comes to our homes, we like our neutrals, you know. So how do you think neutrals play a part and the color palettes play a part in fashion these days?
So I think like colors are such an important thing when it comes to fashion, and like sometimes like one thing many people don't know, like fashion and style. So with style you can go crazy with whatever the colors. So with fashion, like every year we have a color palette, or you know, we have like a color of the season, and it keeps on changing. The Pantone color cards, we usually as designers, as stylists, we stick to this. Even as a photographer, we usually stick to the colors because it's very important. Because to look trendy, it comes from your phone covers to every
Yeah.
single thing. It changes during
Even the
that
colors
time.
you choose for your glasses.
Definitely. So
Nails.
the color of the season is periwinkle. So all shades of purple you'll see in the months to come, from phone covers to everything, it'll be there. But at the same time, there is a color palette which usually, you know, keep on evolving, and you know, we keep on adding more colors to this neutral color palette. So with formals, of course, we have tons of colors to work with. So earthy colors play a really good job, you know, because it matches with our skin tones. At the same time, you can't go wrong with earthy shades, and these are neutral shades. You know, you can have one solid and, you know, reuse it in many different ways.
The shades actually, like, I don't know, personally I think when you travel you see like how the shades change in certain countries. Now if you take the States, USA, like, you know, their neutrals are more towards like black white nudes, right? If you go to like Europe, it's different, you know. And you know, when you go to like Asia, like South Asia, like, you know, we are like, our neutrals are a little bit more warmer. But if you go to Southeast Asia, it's a mix of Asia and Europe, you know, because their neutrals are kind of different. I think it changes from
Region to
this
region.
region to region. Also, I think, to be honest, this whole aesthetic of nudes, the blacks and the white, actually, like, you know, the Kardashians, like, you know, they, for girls mostly, like, you know, they made like a bodysuit look like, they made bike shorts look like a red carpet outfit, you know. So like it is a revolution of pop culture as well.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So now we've been talking about how traditional formal wear has sort of transitioned into a more casual, smart casual, with the evolution of time, and especially after COVID, where our workspaces and our work times have changed and shifted, and so has our fashion. So now, which brings me to No Limits, the Work Shift campaign. They're encouraging sort of, you know, blending formal wear with smart casuals, and sort of being comfortable while looking professional, and being chic while also expressing your individuality. So when it comes to the two of you, I'd like to know your perspective on how you see the Work Shift campaign helping sort of, you know, ingrain themselves into, you know, our work culture, the Sri Lankan work culture. How do you see that happening?
Do you want to go?
You go
first?
start, yeah.
Okay. So I think it's a very new and like a foreign idea at the moment, because I think it has to happen here, because, you know, especially when people work for like a couple of hours and then they have another life also, you know, and then you meet, there's a fusion, there's like a hybrid situation with like what you casually wear, and you know, you have your formal attires, so then you have your lifestyle more in like proper order. You know, you can easily do so many things. Say you don't have your own car, so you know, you're traveling by cab, you have a couple of things to do on the same day and you don't have to change. You know, this is like such a, how do I say, like a lifestyle changing sort of a movement, and I think I'm really up for it, because I think it's very important. One thing, it makes your life easier.
Yeah.
At the same time, you look the part, you know, you look professional and you look super cool. At the same time, you are fashionable.
Yeah.
And you know, you're making a statement, and I think that is very important when you have your own sense of style and fashion to, you know, go out there, you look a certain way, get your work done, and then, you know, go back home and just in one attire, which creates a fusion, which creates a hybrid. I think, I mean, No Limit has really done that part.
Yeah.
It's a good campaign.
Yeah, also like it's technically like it's technically easy. Like, you know, it's like a very like, you know, when you go to your wardrobe, like, you know, back in the day, like it was divided, like, you know, like we were like mostly boys, like our wardrobe is divided by shirts, ties, to like our casuals, like likewise, right? But now, like with this new thing that No Limit's doing, it's a big change, and it's a good change. Something that somewhere we have to start, right? Like I think this is a good start. Like where we have to worry about, okay, this tie to this shirt, this pants, like it's less worrying now. Okay, I can go to work in like a cool polo shirt, I mean polo t-shirt with cool like pants and like, you know, loafers or like sneakers, and you know, like, and we look good and we look comfortable.
Yeah.
With this new thing, like, you know, polo t-shirts, like, you know, the wrinkle is like lesser, and you know, when you go to work you look good, and you don't have to like be insecure about, oh, like mage shirt එක පොඩි වෙලා, like you don't have to worry about
Yeah.
those small things, and you know, like you look good, you look confident, and you know, you tend to do your work better.
I feel like it's also a more economical change as well, because you have one piece that you can wear to multiple
Definitely.
occasions and
Like
settings.
going back to the neutral tones, like, you know, as an example, a small trick, like, you know, wearing a black t-shirt or like something like that, you know, like it is unique, but you know, you can style it in many different ways.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like, you know, tucking in gives a very chic, edgy look, and you know, putting it over gives you a street style look. So like, it's the wardrobe is getting versatile.
Yeah.
So it's easy for us to move forward. It's easy to us to like have an interesting look day to day, even for the Instagram or the TikTok. It's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
for
true.
the Gen Zs.
That's
Yeah,
true.
it's for the gram, it's for the,
Yeah.
you know, your social media. That's very important. You
These
know?
days, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I want to also talk to you, Rafi, about sort of gender inclusive wear as well, because, you know, I mean, I feel like the spectrum of sort of femininity and masculinity, we all genders sort of tend to mix and like
Yeah,
move back and forth
definitely.
with like our style. Like there are days I want to look more feminine and there are days I want to look more
Definitely.
masculine. So I think that is also important when it comes to workwear, isn't it?
Definitely, because I think, you know, like you rightly said, most of the clothes that we come across these days are gender neutral,
True.
or I would say genderless, because you know, it's about you, your personal expression, and you know, and like you said, some days, say if it's a basic black T-shirt, like Kosh was like, you know, telling
Mentioned.
before, so it could be tucked with like a cool skirt, and on another day, you know, it could be like an oversized situation with like, you know, cool
Yeah.
pants, and you know, you look tomboyish and then you look feminine on the same day, and if not, you know, you wrap the top in a certain way. If it's an oversized top, you can do so many ways to, you know, you have so many ways to style it. So you know, that kind of gives you the freedom to, you know, kind of express and explore your styling abilities too, you know, because you don't have to have multiple black T-shirts for that. You know, you could
Yeah.
have one, and then it could even be, if it's like a oversized T-shirt, it could be like a dress, and you know, you can pair it with a belt, and you know, you can look all feminine then, and then all of a sudden you know, kind of remove the belt, and you know, you pair it with like, you know, biker shorts,
Yeah.
and then you know, it's like a very chilled
Sporty,
out,
chill,
sporty,
yeah.
I think
athletic kind of
it's
look.
actually like giving the whole how to say, like
It's giving what?
it's giving,
It's
it's
giving.
actually giving,
It's
you
giving.
know?
It's
So this
giving.
whole new campaign with No Limit, like it's like super cool, the fact that, you know, we don't have to like worry too much. Yeah.
Sure.
Absolutely. I think No Limits Work Shift campaign sort of helps with bringing global trends to a local Sri Lankan setting as well, because we've seen this with, like you said, pop culture, and that's sort of trickled down now. We want to see more of our Sri Lankan workforce sort of embracing this new fashion and this new trend, where workwear is also comfortable but chic and professional. So, you know, blending these ideas of traditional elements with sort of modern appeal and your individuality, which I think is really beautiful with the No Limit Work Shift
Definitely.
campaign.
Yeah, like it's technically like it gives us a chance to, like, you know, showcase wearing versus styling. Like, you know, technically, like you can just put like a t-shirt on, like pants and shoes, but you know, you can style it in with a belt. Like it gives us the whole, like your question for Rafi previously, like, you know, how everything's more like unisex now,
Yeah.
right? So it gives like for boys, like, you know, back in the day we didn't have much.
Yeah.
You know, accessorized wise, what it was belts, that's it,
Yeah.
and shoes, right?
Yeah.
But now there are so many things like, you know, where boys can put necklaces, like, you know, not for work per se, but still like
Yeah.
you can change things. You can,
Even for work.
Yeah,
yeah, you
even
can.
for
Like,
work.
it depends on your work.
Yeah, where you
Space,
work.
yeah,
Yeah.
you
And
but
how you
the-
stack your jewelry, you know, like
Yeah.
some rings, a cool bracelet, a
Yeah.
watch. I mean, whatever, like the pieces and how you put it on and like style yourself also.
I feel like I have the king and queen of like gender neutral, gender inclusive wear
I
fashion.
barely shop at, like, you know, when I go
The
shopping.
men's section, right?
section.
Barely.
Oh, and
Because
the other way
they don't have
around.
my sizes, to be honest.
No, but
yeah.
I'm the other way around. Like I love oversized clothing, and most
Yeah.
of my oversized clothing are from the men's section.
I shop at the men's section as
So-
well. I think a lot of girls nowadays do that as well.
They do.
I think it changed.
Even the pants, like if I need like wider legs, and I'm like, I need like wider legs, like.
Cargo pants from the men's section.
Oh yeah, that works. That works so well, and the oversized shirts, oversized t-shirts.
Absolutely.
You know.
Where do you guys see sort of this trend moving forward, like the coming year and the year after that? Where do you see this workwear evolving?
I think it will come to a point where wherever we look, people will be well dressed. Like, it's a good thing, because I think we need to start somewhere. Like, very smallest thing, like how Sri Lankan red carpet changed into like better red carpet now. Back in the day, it was sari, salwar, suit, or like the national. But now it become like ball gowns, like chic wear, like, you know, evolved. Likewise, it's gonna take time, but brands like No Limit, like during this campaign, it's gonna help even for us people who are in the public eye with styling and all these things. Like, you know, it's gonna help us to like have options to go shop, right?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Do you have any predictions on like aesthetics or like, you know, what's coming? Do you have any insider information? Rafi?
I like how she's like you have.
Are you working at Miranda Priestley's office?
You know, but like I think this is definitely going to be this fashion
Campaign.
movement, or this fashion campaign, or this fashion style is definitely going to be there for a certain time period. So I think in 2030 we'll definitely see like a big change. Until that, I think we have a couple of years. We are going to see this in bits and pieces. In, you know, these trends are going to keep on changing from time to time, but like the major change we can expect in 2030, I feel.
It is.
You've thought to 2030 as well.
It's 5 more years.
Yeah, darling, it's just 5 more
Because
years.
always as stylists, when we style, I think we
Yeah.
have to always have like a, you know, like a mindset up where like we look at the fashion forecast and then kind of predict, okay, this could work, because when we do something for our clients, it definitely has to be ahead of time. You know,
Yeah.
and
'Cause
that's
the
when they
pictures
can
are gonna
use
stay
it for
there
the
for a long
entire
time.
year. So the last year campaigns that we did, definitely they can use it this year, because hands down we're 100% sure that they can definitely use it. So this year, when we do something, we are very sure, so next year they can use it. So it has to be that way, because that's the best possible way we could give 100% to our clients. So
Yeah.
because of that, I usually look into the fashion forecast. Even as a stylist, I definitely work on my personal style. But if we are working with fashion trends and, you know, collections like this, definitely, you know, that is a...
Yeah, I think like even when you go to the airport nowadays, like people are well dressed. Like, you know, it's kind of like actually cool to see like how like when back in the day, like when people went to university, like, you know, if they travel abroad, they were wearing like the shirt, button up, like tailored pants. Now it's changing. Like, you
Yeah.
know, they're like in more
Very cool
cooler,
stuff.
like polo
There's
looks.
airport
Like,
fashion now.
yeah. I mean, people wear like those silk PJs to the airport and still
Yeah.
look cool.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've worn PJs for events.
Really?
She
I
did.
wore
Really?
for a fashion
Yeah,
show. I
yeah.
wore
The
silk
silk
PJs
ones, yeah.
with like 6-inch heels and like all
Whoa. But technically PJs have that structure, right?
that.
Like,
Yeah, because I like the little, you know,
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
little
yeah.
I think
piping
that can be a
here.
new thing for the workforce, like, you know, like PJ tops, like the
for high fashion events,
fashion,
absolutely.
I wore it for a fashion show and I judged it.
I'm stealing that idea. I'm stealing.
And you were the host of this.
Oh, yes, yeah. So bringing it back to what you were talking about, sort of, you know, going from maybe your office where you're working and then you're done with your day's work, and then, you know, you might have something to go to, or maybe hanging out with friends, having a little bit of, going to a pub or
Yeah.
like dinner or a restaurant. So I think having a more versatile workwear will help sort of transition into that without you having to change outfits, right? I think that's where the
That's gonna
comfort level
help because
comes in.
like me, like in my car, I always have like 3 set of clothes, like 3 outfits, like because we work and we get called for events and like or like meetings and certain things, and like I have to change and go, right? And if we have like more than one event on one day, like we can't just wear the same outfit for that. So I had like I still do like backup outfits. But I think this new change that No Limit is doing, it's kind of very helpful for like majority, like people who have bigger business meetings or like events and like and like you can just put like with like a nice like a casual thing that you have, like, you just can layer it up. And then the other best thing is like this new, I think Gen Z started it like probably like where they're like after work, the office crew, all the friends, we all go out.
Hang
They
out.
go out, hang out. We are too old. Like go out, like have a drink or like a bite, and like go to the movies, so that you don't feel uncomfortable, like wearing like that stereotypical like formal wear, like, but you're in more casual. So if you're tucked in, like you can put it out, still go to the movies, like like they have this for the females, like what Rafi was saying before. I was going through the pictures with, they have this crop t-shirt which was paired with like mom jeans, which is really cool. Give me a minute, guys.
If you can find it.
I'm not the best person with technology, even so. Oh, see, like if you see this, so it's actually like kind of cool. You can see, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. Like you still can go to work.
Yeah.
It's not like taboo or anything. It's cool.
Yeah.
And
It's not super formal, it's not too casual.
Yeah. And because the thing is, what
It's a
makes
vibe.
what makes it like kind of like semi-formal is that the accessorizing, how they have accessorized the whole thing. It's kind of like gives you a formal like a touch, right? And even for a boy, like wearing a like not that like pure cotton shirt, like even like a slightly wrinkly like fabric, still you can put it out and go on a Friday night out. Still you have that whole cool vibe,
Versatility.
versatility. I mean, like I said, one cool thing, like in most of the offices, like even in my office, like because of the air condition, like we like so many people, we get like so cold, and we try to put things like and then like, why don't you put it in a more fashionable way, like match your like whole vibe.
Absolutely.
Like,
Layer
without being
it.
like not matching, like you still can be matching and chic and like the cool cat in the club.
Cool cat in the club.
Cool cat in the club.
Yeah, I think that helps, like this whole style campaign. I think a campaign helps a lot
With
like,
getting the message out, with
the
making
message
it.
goes out, because back in the day, like our campaigns were like kind of like just put in the clothes. Now, like they hire stylists, like brands like NOLIMIT, like they hire stylists, and they do a campaign that caters to the market, the audience, because they know how to style it then. Because you have set of designers, they design and they know what's right and what's wrong for their particular product. And as an outside person, like if I'm looking at a billboard or a campaign video, like it gives me like, oh, this kind of looks cool.
Yeah, this is how I'm maybe supposed to style my
Yeah.
outfit.
And it gives like the exposure that what we need. I think, to be honest, the change came like from like brands evolving and experimenting on things, and it's kind of cool.
So thank you so much, you guys, for joining in on the conversation. I think
Thank
we
you for
spoke a
having us.
lot
Thank you so much
about
for
sort of
having
how fashion in the workplace has evolved over time, and I think we're glad that Sri Lankans are now at a place where we're able to embrace that, especially with work shift. What we're trying to do is celebrate that evolution of workwear, and I think having a conversation about it also helps. So I'd like to know, like, any final thoughts, any final messages to those who are watching.
Very thankful for No Limit for actually doing something like this. This is, I think, a retail brand doing a podcast. Like it's first time, right? So it's kind of cool because now the brand gets to study more about like bringing people and like learn more about things, and the audience, their clientele, can learn how to do more styling and more, like I said, wearing versus styling. Like they can do things because they have the inside information. So I think it's kind of cool that NOLIMIT is doing this, and I am kind of thankful. And thank you for having us for the first episode, and it's really cool.
Amazing.
I think creating the conversation for anything is the start of something good. So I think it was high time that someone actually started something like that, a conversation for fashion at the same time for a style movement like this. So I'm really happy that we had this conversation. We got to kind of share our thoughts about formal meets casual, or like a new hybrid version of work shift. So I'm very glad that this is happening finally. It's a good start.
Yeah,
So thank you so much, you
Thank you,
guys,
yeah.
for joining us for the conversation. And for those of you who have been watching, I'm sure you had thoughts that popped up into your head, or maybe questions that you might have about the fashion industry and about workwear in general. You're not sure about where things are going. You're not sure about what decisions to make. If you have any questions, or if you have any thoughts that you want to add to this conversation, feel free to comment in the comments below and let us know your thoughts, so maybe we can strike up that conversation in the next episode as well. Don't forget to
Subscribe.
subscribe
And comment.
if we're subscribable, comment, and share this with your friends, and just let them know, hey,
Yeah.
smart casual is cool now.
Yeah.
All right, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you so much.
Stay stylish.